What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Real Ones Canes podcast. He is Cam Underwood. He's managing editor of State of the U, a great website. Go check it out as soon as you're finishing watching or listening to this episode. You can follow Cam on the X at Underwood Sports. I'm Brian the Beast London, and I guess I run this operation. You can follow me at Miami Radio Beast. I apologize that my voice is still not 100% Cam. We've been through this for a few weeks now, and finally I got a little bit of a diagnosis. I won't get into the specific nitty gritty of details, but I do want to send a shout out to the best ENT doctor in the world, Dr. Daniel Morse. That's an unpaid endorsement. Not only is he an amazing doctor, but he's become a good friend as well. He's got offices all over South Florida, so go check him out. But he got me in his chair, and he did a lot of testing and things and whatnots, and looked here and there and everywhere, and decided basically my issue was that my allergies caused me to have a pretty intense sinus infection that I thought that I got rid of on one dose of antibiotics, but they were not the right antibiotics to like hit that infection. So now we're on like the mother of all antibiotics and some steroids to like finally get rid of it. And then we're doing some allergy testing next week, get the right meds there. And then hopefully like in a month or so, I'll be back to perfect.
Steroids. Okay. So the Beast is going to be your nickname for the Mr. Olympia trophy that you're going to win
for sure.
coming up there.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah.
Hey man, make it happen. I'm here for you. I'm glad that you finally figured it out with the allergies and everything. But good to be back. Good to be here with you guys. Be sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the conversation and whatnot.
So let's get to camp. They are now in full pads. We got a scrimmage coming up this weekend on Sunday, I believe. We're recording this Friday afternoon. So now we're starting to get a little more serious, right? We're starting to care a little bit more. We're getting closer to that August 31st, 7:30 game in prime time against Notre Dame. So, by the way, I don't know if you caught this week, but there's been a plethora, a myriad, if you will, of Notre Dame insiders that suddenly feel like they have the hot tip on what's going on at Miami practice. Like they're starting to come with, I heard, so-and-so, CJ Daniels is, suddenly shrunk by 3 inches. Take my word for it.
I don't pay attention to them, so I wouldn't know.
Of course you don't.
That they feel that they, all of a sudden are in possession of that kind of knowledge. Also, I wanted to shout out the fact that you used this incredible royal we for the fact of like now we care about practice.
Yes.
Speak for yourself. I care. Lots of people care. You've been the one downplaying, shorts and t-shirts for a while, and to lump us in with that royal we that you use, I'm like, that scene from Fresh Print. We? Well,
I'm sorry. I was brought up in the Jim Mad Dog Mandich, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
By the way, a proud alumnus of the University of Michigan, who would always say, "I don't care about them running around in frickin' pajamas."
I get it, but there are plenty of people who do.
No, I know. I get it.
And also, it was the first time of having people, back on the field and everything. And so just for the timeline for people, in case you don't know, the first 2 days are shorts and t-shirts with a helmet. The second 2 days of practice, you can wear shells, which are upper pads and helmets. And then from day 5 on, you can go into full pads. So that day 5, day 6 area. So we have transitioned into full pads. Just got the email from Miami Athletics. There is no access to anything coming up this weekend, which always happens around, you guessed it, scrimmage time.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm not even calling them out as being bad. It's just like to put the marker down of like, cool, we're 2 weeks in. This is the time that we stop teaching and start reacting. You know what I mean? So you put people out there, we've instructed it, we've developed it, we've installed it, we've repped it, go and do, show and prove whether you can or whether you cannot, and then we will review afterwards.
So actually, Mario talked about this during his presser yesterday.
Okay.
He said basically, we're at the point in camp where we get to the scrimmage where you get 2 chances. You get the first chance. Maybe it's a look you haven't seen. Maybe it's something new. You're just installing, what have you. That's fine. If you don't get it right, you get one more chance, and you better get it right the second time, or else, could be next man up. Like it's time to go. And that's, I like that philosophy. It puts a lot of pressure on them, but listen, the season's not starting with a gimme at all. So
it doesn't matter if it were.
Well, no, but I'm just saying we're starting under the lights, right? Like we can play the whole thing. Every game is important, but if you were starting with, Saint Tech for the brown, black, yellow, purple, green, and blue, like if you were starting with one of those schools, like, okay, you understand that you're going to be able to give some run to some guys, and you'll get the threes in or whatever. That's not happening against Notre Dame.
Look, in 2022, I know, we started with Alabama and lost. Second game was against Appalachian State. That was a 2-point game.
Yeah, no,
UAB the year before in 2021, it was 31-14.
No, we've had
ended up pulling a little bit away. Like, there have been times where we have started with teams, like Southern Miss with Frank Gore Jr. It was a second game with 2022, but that was 30-7, and that was closer than that until the second half. So my point is, every game matters. Regardless, even if you blow them out, you still want the starters to go out there, handle their business, not fail in their opportunities, and then move forward. Just like my grandmother Carol Rose used to say, God rest her soul, do it right the first time. I think that's how it is. And because, I know that it's a coach speak phrase. There's scholarship players on other teams, whether it was Notre Dame or whether it was FAMU, they're going to be trying their hardest. When Central Michigan came down here with Daniel Richardson, they were competitive for a while. So they're going to try. So I think it is reasonable, especially at this point in the spring. Hey, we're going to give you multiple chances to get it right, because this rep you're working on your hand placement, this rep of the same thing you're working on your footwork, this rep you're looking at, you're doing all of the things in parts and pieces to put it together. Now in fall camp, it needs to be, you get 2 chances, you get the one, okay, we did something funky, cool. That second time, and this is where depth and development come in, because if it is 2 times, there's somebody else who's been busting their ass waiting for the opportunity that you continue to squander. So go ahead if you want to, right?
Yeah.
But if that's what you want to do, then you're going to be watching somebody else try to get it right on the field. And if they do get it right and you don't, you're going to continue to watch them operate.
All right, let's jump in for a bit on the ongoings of fall camp. I do want to start with Carson Beck.
7,000 yards, 82 touchdowns, no interceptions, 93% completion rate. That's what you're predicting this year, right?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Throw that out there. Quote me on that. No worries. Supposedly, the word from everyone is he's looking really good, and that the offense is going to be considerably different. It's going to be more balanced with the run game. It's going to be an offense where Carson Beck goes through his progressions very quickly and gets the ball out quickly. In other words, Cam Ward was able to kind of take his time back there. One, because he had a great offensive line, and so does Carson Beck, but also because he liked to spend time in the backfield, running around a little bit, seeing what was open, make something out of nothing, boom, boom, boom. Carson Beck doesn't play that way. Carson Beck is your natural, go through my progressions, get it to the guy that's open, and boom, go. And that's going to look different, but it's going to be, I think, as successful.
Similarly, but different. What I mean?
It's going to look different.
It's going to be a lot of the same scheme. I think maybe percentage-wise, it's going to skew a little bit more towards run, because they gave Cam Ward every opportunity just to sling the ball. And as you're saying, Cam Ward's superpower was, I'm going to keep this play alive with the ball in my right hand as long as possible, searching for the home run, because it's there and I can make that throw. So I'm going to do everything possible for that. But that's a stylistic difference, not a schematic difference. So schematically, I believe that this offense is going to look like itself. You're going to see a lot of the inside run, the inside zone RPO. You're going to see a lot of the inside zone split with the tight end and the wing coming and cracking back across in the run game. I would love to see more counter. I would love to see more outside zone or stretch things to attack the edges of the defense in the run game. But they really prefer some other things to attack that area of the field, which is fine. You're still going to see verticals. You're still going to see the switch verticals, like the play that Elijah Arroyo had that touchdown against Georgia Tech, the play at Cal when Restrepo got wide open, the play at Syracuse at the end where he got wide open and had that chunk play on that last drive. Schematically, I think you're going to see a lot of the same things, but to me, it's akin to two chefs in the kitchen with the same ingredients. It's like Chopped, right? You're going to make a chicken dish because you got chicken, but the technique that you use to get there is going to be slightly different. And I think that's the real difference between Carson Beck and Cam Ward.
All right, I was going to compare it to, because I'm a drummer, I was going to compare it to drumming, in which case you have drummers like me, although I'm a weird drummer because I'm left-footed and right-handed, so I play open but match grip, right? Or you have your traditional, what are you looking at?
No, I was just trying to piece together open but match grip because, yeah, I get it.
Left foot on the bass, right foot on the hi-hat, but instead of crossing over, it's right hand on the hi-hat, left hand on the snare, open, right? As opposed to your traditional match grip drummer, which is crossing over, right hand on the hi-hat, left hand on the snare, but right foot on the bass drum, left foot on the hi-hat. Anyways, right. So you compare a match grip drummer to someone that's playing traditional with a stick like this, your old jazz drummers that are playing like that, playing the same grooves looks entirely different. So kind of like that. All right. Sorry for that. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent.
No, it was just when you said, I was just like, hold on. I've never encountered someone who I've never encountered a drummer who plays as such. That's why I was kind of tilting my head like a dog who was hearing something like
I'll draw a diagram later. All right, let's move ahead for a moment to the running backs, because I think this is one of the most interesting rooms on the team because it's stacked. That's one of them, but I kind of like Jordan Lyle's having an unbelievable camp according to everyone. Marty Brown is having a really good camp. It looks like he's going to continue what he brought to the University of Miami from North Dakota State. So that looks good. The guy that I feel like, and I think it's almost on purpose, is kind of getting left out of a little bit of the fanfare is Mark Fletcher. Obviously, he had he's had a tough road, right? Injury and father passing away, and he's been through a lot, but he's been nothing but amazingly productive and a great running back. You kind of feel like Lyle is more of a breakaway guy. Did I read this right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Has Mark Fletcher not fumbled as a Miami Hurricane?
I believe that to be the case.
Because I looked at the stats before and I saw 0, and I was like, how is that? Is that a thing? Like a running back that hasn't had a fumble ever in 2 years? I don't know. But if that's the case, that's pretty darn good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I found when I looked it up. So, and I can't remember, I can't remember like a big Fletcher fumble. So maybe it's the case.
No,
but
it was other guys who fumbled, not him.
Yeah, for sure. I will ask you this question. Yes, are we doing a disservice to Mark Fletcher by kind of leaving him on the sideline of the other two guys?
In terms of the conversation, yes, absolutely. I think that he is an incredibly talented player. I expect Mark Fletcher to be the first running back off the sideline when Miami takes the field for offense to start the year. And transparently, I said it before, I do another podcast and video stuff and,
stadium.com. You're all over the place. Yeah.
I do my best, but I said in all of those spaces, Mark Fletcher was running back 1 for the first half of the year. It was not even close. He was playing way better than Damian Martinez. And I know that Damian Martinez ended up with 1,000 yards, 1,007, I believe it was. And in the second half of the year, caught fire. But when he got here in that first half of the year, number 4, Mark Fletcher Jr. was the guy. And I think that he should have even started in front of Martinez and gotten even more carries through those first 6 games. Go back and watch it. Go back and look at it. I am not over-exaggerating the fact that he was clearly the best running back on the roster at that point. I say all of that to say, to remove him from the conversation then moving forward, I think is, it is giving him a little short shrift. I think that this is a guy, with a lot of physical talent. I get that, you're trying to hype up everybody and everything, but leaving him tacitly out of the conversation, I think, is a little bit of a disservice to a guy who I expect to start the year as the starter. I don't know if he'll end the year as a starter, just because we do have so much talent in this loaded running back room, even though some of the names are different, obviously with Gerard Pringle and Marty Brown joining the roster, and, Chris Johnson Jr. Departing, and AJ Allen and whatnot. But Mark Fletcher Jr., I fully expect him to be integral to this offense. And I don't want to let that go by the wayside of we're just focusing on other guys. Focus on him too.
If we move in front of those guys, the offensive line, I was sitting here racking my brain to ask myself, do I have any worry or questions about anyone or anything about that unit? And the answer is no, decidedly, in my mind.
One.
Okay, that's fair. Go ahead.
Injury. That's the only question or concern I have. If anyone were to be injured. But even if they were, Alex Mirabal, in his availability this week said, this is a great group. We've been, recruiting well. We've been developing well. We got 8 or 9 dudes who can start here or pretty much anywhere in the world of college football. So I believe that there is someone to step in. But for the core 5, which I believe is set it and forget it, Mark Hellbell, Matthew McCoy, James Brockermeyer, Anez Cooper, Francis Mauinoa. Boom, done, dusted. Don't talk to me about nobody else. That is your best 5 by far. By far. Yeah, the only issue or only thing that could derail that train would be an injury. But I believe that we have players who can then step in. But that for me is it. But on a performance basis, on a pedigree basis, on a development basis, size, strength, starting experience, on any performance metric that you want to put out there, 0 questions. I honestly believe that Miami's offensive line is no lower than 3rd best in the country, and I personally believe it to be probably the best. Going in, I said, arguably top 2 with Notre Dame, but I don't know what their tackle situation is with dude who might have broken his leg or arm or whatever it was.
Correct.
Their starting left tackle, by the way. And that impacts things. So, but this is an elite group from, top to bottom, left to right, however you want to say it.
It's, you look at the talent. Like you said, it's deep. It's talented. It's all of the things you want in an O-line, and can do it all. Can pass pro and run block, all of that stuff. All right, let's move out to wide receiver and tight end. So wide receiver is an interesting one, because you look at the guys you lost and the amount of the offense that they accounted for. And logically, you have to wonder, how can you make up for that? Right. Even if you replace it with guys you think are nearly as good, how can they be? And that's kind of my big question mark right now on the offense. Is I look at some names at wide receiver and I'm like, okay, I'm with you. The Keelan Marions, the CJ Daniels of the groups, Malachi Toney, is it looks like he's going to be the guy, but you certainly have got Tony Johnson, Ray Joseph, the Nye Cars, the Josiah Traders. There's plenty of names, but again, in reality, is it possible for the group that I just mentioned to live up to what we had last year?
It is. It's just going to look different. We might not, it might have a little bit more rotation to it, as opposed to having 4 receivers at the top. It might be 6 or 7, so it might be spreading it around a little bit, but there's unquestionably the talent. But this is opposite of offensive line, where it's okay, look at what all of these dudes have done in college. That's the proof to support my belief that they're going to do it again. This is a little bit of projection. So it is flexing a different muscle and everything. But really interested to see how they work across the year. I also wouldn't be surprised if the rotations change a few times over the course of the year, either based on performance or based on matchups. Whereas your core group last year, that being Sam Brown, Xavier Restrepo, Jacoby George, and Isaiah Horton, those top 4 receivers, they were pretty much, it was just them. Like, they rotated amongst themselves and the other guys watched. I don't think it's going to be that short of a rotation.
No, I agree.
This year. And I think that's fine. But there's plenty of talent there. And, I think that the other thing that it gives the opportunity for is a little bit more specialization. I'm deep into a dynasty in my college football 26 journey right now. I did like 6 years at the University of Hawaii, and then I've now transitioned to the University of Southern California. And one of the things that I was asking for, it'll make sense in a second. One thing I was asking for in this game were formation subs, to be able to bring young players into certain formations and take advantage of the 1 or 2 things that they do really well. And that also helps for a variety of reasons of roster retention and things. I think that Miami in real life can do something very similar, where it's like, okay, cool. You, Keelan Marion, we know that you are fast. You're an all-American return guy. I'm not sure that you are a run every route in the route tree kind of a guy. But in these formations and these pass schemes, I think that you can do these 3 things. So you'll be the guy there, and then somebody else will take your spot in these other formations and pass schemes and things like that. So I think that kind of specialization and letting a guy do the few things that he does well, as opposed to trying to make him a jack of all trades when he is not, is a potential path forward for the receiving group as a whole.
Yeah, no, I get that. The number one question of my like, you're so used to having a guy like Xavier Restrepo that can just be counted on, right? That no matter the situation, 3rd and this, 4th and this, goal line, whatever it is, there's a guy that one way or another is going to make the play. Although there was one time when he didn't, but that's okay. It happens. And I'm interested to see, like, we don't have to do this now, but I'm interested to see if anyone steps into that role. Maybe it's Elijah Lofton. Maybe it's him at tight end. Maybe, we're not sure yet, but that's kind of what I'm interested in. Maybe it's not one guy. Maybe, like you said, maybe it's 3 different guys in different situations like that can make those kind of plays.
Yeah. No, it is a joy to have your security blanket on 3rd down or
Correct.
4th down, even because he caught one on his butt on 4th down in the game,
yes,
of like, hey, if it's a money down, I'm looking to this guy. And the opposing team knows it. We know it. Try what you will, but the ball's going there. Yeah, I don't know if going into the year, I don't think that we have that guy. But, we're going to have to find either a guy or multiple guys that we can lean on in those key situations. So we'll see.
All right. So tight end situation, Elijah Lofton, was it Alex Bowman? Is that those are the guys right now at tight end. Bowman, of course, can block really well, but also has been catching the ball a little bit. And Elijah Lofton is a freak of nature. So I think that's what you're talking about there. Let's move to the other side of the football, because I think it gets interesting on the other side of the football, mostly because I'm interested to see what the Corey Heatherman defense looks like.
Yeah.
What the communication looks like, because we were scared about that, but what his play calling flow is, how he reacts in certain situations. What is he doing on 3rd and long? Is he coming after the quarterback? Like, all of those things that we don't know. Like, we can watch past tape of where he's been, but again, it's a new start for him, so we're not sure. So that kind of gives me a lot of excitement about things on defense, but there's a ton of talent there. And, when you start up front, I'm looking at Justin Scott and Ahmad Moten and David Blay, in the interior. And then the names like, Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, Hayden Lowe, Marquise Lightfoot, all these guys that are really talented, that came in with a ton of talent that should give you a pretty decent front for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah. I know that he's new here, but Heatherman is very much like a disciple of Greg Schiano.
Yeah,
we're going to set it and forget it. It's going to be, just cover 2 man under, type stuff. Sprinkle in some zones, sprinkle in some blitz, and just let guys go out there and hoop, man. And especially up front, go beat the man in front of you. And I think that, when there were some injuries in the back end, I think that, Lance Guidry decided he was going to try to get a little too cute up front.
That didn't
and
work.
It was just, like they telegraphed the twists and stunts that they try to do up front, and they rarely worked after the first couple of games, and just relying on those. And Corey Heatherman, you have to run, games and stuff up front sometimes, with twisting and stunting and, yada, yada, yada. But if you go back and watch, obviously the Shiano defense at Rutgers and then the Heatherman defense that he coordinated last year, which was top 5 in total defense of yards per game allowed, in case you didn't know that about Minnesota's defense under Corey Heatherman last year. There's a lot of dudes just, hey, man, go win. And they do, and I think that, just letting the talent play, having them think less and just going and doing it. Just, I'm really excited to see that. Up front, we have so much talent. And I can't wait to see who really steps forward. But more than the unknowns, I'm ready for a known, or in a scientific kind of way, a constant to return to being the constant in our experimentation, in our lab. I'm ready for Ruben Bain to get back to being Ruben Bain. And I know that last year he got injured on the second play of the Florida game and was never the same with a hamstring. Look, he's slimmed down, he's in shape, he's strong, he's healthy. And even with a sophomore year that was pretty much a throwaway year for Ruben Bain, every mock draft, every NFL mock draft I've seen has him mocked in the first round still after this year. That's the kind of talent that this gentleman has. So him getting back to being himself is just, it's going to be such a big help for this defense. And then, him being the terror that he is off the edge are going to help everybody else up front and the second and third levels as well.
All right, I want to get to the linebackers, because this is a big question mark for me, because when I look down the depth chart at linebacker, I kind of just see a bunch of guys like Wesley, I hope, is a standout. And, obviously Motori coming in, I hope is a standout. But am I wrong here? Like, am I like selling the whole position short?
I don't know. I think that you're selling them short on potential. I don't think that you're selling them short on demonstrated performance.
Okay,
because
that makes
there's been a lot to be desired at linebacker for 15 years.
Right. So just to tease, in the next segment, we're actually going to pick veterans that we think are going to step up. There's some cases to be made at linebacker, possibly. Possibly. I'm not saying that that's where I'm going. I'm just saying that's possibly a position on the defense that you might go. But again, I think you're right. Like, I think there's potential. There's potential here. But if I'm just kind of like thinking in my mind and replaying all of these guys and like how they've played, like, I'm not blown away. Really.
So you really have to. It takes intentional focus, basically. So if you're looking at, okay, I need this player to play the way that they have played. Like I was talking about with Ruben Bain. I need freshman year Ruben Bain. I've seen it. I need that. There's really not that at linebacker.
Correct.
It's Darius Hayes is big and fast and strong. He's 6'4" and 240 pounds and runs like sub 4.5. I need him to be a dude. Kellen Wiley Jr. coming in. OG Bobby Pruitt. Bobby Washington. There's Raul Aguirre, Wesley Bassane. There are plenty of guys where you can say, okay, I need the best version of them. I need the peak of what their potential was coming into Miami as recruits, as highly heralded, that chose to come here as opposed to other places. And if you're a Motore, being healthy and then playing to the ceiling of your previous performance, that's probably the one guy who you can look at and be like, yeah, if he played like he did in 23 or 24, sure, fine. But yeah, this is definitely the position I think with the most. I don't know the most, because the defensive backfield. I know.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get there. I
know. But also remember, this is the position that the defensive coordinator coaches. So much like last year, in the last 2 years, when we're looking at safeties because Guidry played safety and coached safety, we're going to be looking at linebacker even more, especially because Corey Heatherman worked with these dudes,
right?
Saw what he had, and said, "Hey Mo, remember when you played for me 2 years ago at Rutgers?
Right.
Wouldn't you love to do that again to get him to transfer after spring? Remember, because he was not here at spring. Heatherman saw what he was working with. He went in that pantry and said, okay, raisins, tomato sauce, and I don't know, and I'm supposed to make a gourmet meal. He said, let me call DoorDash real quick in the portal. Motore, why don't you come down and help a brother out?" So that makes it very interesting for me.
Yeah, he pulled a Bob Barker with a "come on down."
Come on down.
Yeah, exactly. Or Drew Carey, if you will. All right, let's move to the backfield, the defensive backfield. Obviously, this was the most maligned position last year, as it should have been. I feel like I feel pretty good about Xavier Lucas and OJ Frederick, right? Like I feel like pretty good there. I even feel pretty good about a Damari Brown.
Yeah.
Now the other guy, like the last few days, Cam, like I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but Jacoby Thomas has been getting like all of the hype from all the people.
Transfer safety from Tennessee, for anybody wondering.
Correct. Yes. So he's been all over the place. There's like Zechariah Poyser, like we've talked about him, Dylan Day. We've talked about these guys. It's just a matter now of like, can they live up to where we think they or how they think they can play?
I mean, Jacoby Thomas played a lot of football in Tennessee.
Yeah, he does.
Played really well. Zechariah Poyser, freshman All-American, on that same freshman All-American squad as good old number 29, OJ Frederick. You know what I mean? So if you're like, well, OJ Frederick was a freshman All-American, so why would you be questioning that? Copy, paste, Zach Poyser. So, that makes you feel good. Damari Brown, hopefully, again, like Ruben Bain, getting healthy. You know what I mean? There's plenty of talent. And, I mean, in the recruiting class, too, I mean, there's lots of freshmen. I mean, obviously, you don't want to lean on freshmen, but then again, like, I know it was a single.
We had to use OJ last year. He was a freshman, and he worked out.
That's exactly what I was going to say. So it's possible that, some of these freshmen who are in there at safety and corner as well could see time. I mean, I think that maybe more special teams and development time for them as opposed to like, core defense. But there is plenty of talent. And if nothing has been clear in our conversation of all these position groups, let it be this. Miami has elite talent at every single position group. They might not have elite depth. They might not have demonstrated elite performance from other years. But there are players at every single position group that damn near every team in America would love to have on their roster.
Wait.
They need to put it together. But this is not a moribund group of substandard athletes. It is not. I know that I just fried your brain, Brian.
Yeah, you fried Brian.
I fried Brian, fried his brain. I also myself because I couldn't even get that sentence out. But I'm right. And you know it.
No, I don't know it because we just talked about the linebackers. Where's the elite talent at linebackers?
Proven talent.
Proven.
See,
elite
but
talent.
again, if we're talking about the talent versus the production, those are two
doesn't
different,
one go hand in hand? You can't say that. No. Unless they're a freshman,
those are two different things.
Unless they're a freshman and they're coming out of high school. If they've been on the team, you can't tell me that they're extremely talented if they've done buckets.
I sure can.
No, you can't.
I sure can. Darius Hayes, who was behind all of the linebackers before, and he played the same position as Kiko Mawinoa, who basically never came off the field. I'm not going to say that he's untalented because we had a fifth-year senior in front of him. Absolutely not. No, I'm right. Now, if they deliver on it or not is another conversation. But I'm not wrong for saying that we have the kind of talent that teams all over the country would love to have at every single position group. I'm sorry. I'm not wrong. They haven't done it. It's different things. These are different things. And I need the talent to turn into production. I'm not wrong.
Bro, I'm like the state of Missouri. You got to show me.
Okay, cool. Then we can come back and then talk about that. But the performance and the performance and production versus the talent and potential are two different things.
Okay, here's what I need you to do. I want you to interrupt all of the things that you have going on in your life, all of the other articles you're writing, other podcasts you're doing, other videos you're doing, your day job, your night job, any job that you may have, singing, whatever hobbies you have, gaming that you were just doing before where you were playing some mafioso, dude. I don't even understand. You need to put all of that aside, and I need a rundown of the talent at linebacker. Like that, I need that sent to my email box by close of business.
I don't even need to do it in email. I'll tell you right now. Kellen Wiley Jr. was a high 4-star coming out of Sefner Armwood. He's a true freshman. Darius Hayes was a high school All-American that everybody wanted. I forget the high school that he went to. And both of those dudes are huge and gigantic. So, and they run real fast. So, boom, you have that. You have Cam Pruitt, who was Defensive Player of the Year, I do believe, in the state of Alabama. When he came out, he's a little bit thin and has to develop his body, but that's another player who has incredible talent. And then you have, so I said Bobby Pruitt, Bobby Washington Jr., who has all the physical tools you could ever want in a million years, and both of those guys were standouts on special teams. Then you have Raul Aguirre, who's very talented and intermittently productive. I know that he played sparingly and also got injured. However, who scored the touchdown on defense against Louisville?
Okay, fine. When he
came in, he made plays. It was not as much. It wasn't every single play all year long, but I'm also not going to discount what he did. Now, if you're getting to the older players, everybody in America wondered, was it Basant? Has he been as good as his pedigree coming in? No, but I'm not going to say that he's untalented because he's very, very talented. Just ask that gentleman at Syracuse who he decapitated with that gigantic hit that was not targeting. So right there, I just given you 6 dudes with all kinds of talent. Now they need to turn that potential into performance, but in 2 minutes, I've given you what you've asked for, and I didn't lie about any of it, and you can go look it up on stateofu.com or anywhere else because I write a recruiting notebook for every single player that signs every year, including all these guys at linebacker. It is there, and they need to now turn what they had previously done and this potential that they have and all this athleticism that they have into production. But I'm not going to sit here and act like they're untalented. That's just disingenuous.
You realize now during the season when we're sitting next to each other in the press box, every play that a linebacker makes or every play that a linebacker does not make, we will be looking at each other. That's just
I'm fine with that.
Now. Okay.
That's okay. We were always looking at each other and talking about, everything anyway. Brandon in betwixt us, but
right.
I'm perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
But again,
I'm excited.
The talent is there.
Oh, sure. Okay.
The production needs to match that. And the fact that it hasn't is where your dissent comes from. And I understand it. And I agree with you, right? But the fact that they have not performed does not mean that they lack talent. They haven't produced it, or they haven't produced on the field at this level. I know it sounds like I'm splitting hairs, but they are two different things. And I need the talent to manifest itself as production. I'm with you. But we have the kind of players with the kind of talent that you need. Here's my comparison to wrap this up. You remember as well as I do that when Mark Richt first got here, that we had no speed at wide receiver to the point where they were lining up receivers 10 and 15 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage before the snap to simulate what the speed from other teams were because they had nobody to be able to do that.
Correct.
Right? That was an issue of not having the talent, needing to go get the players who actually had the speed so you didn't have to cheat and put them 10, 15 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage at the snap. I believe that illustrates that. At linebacker, we don't have a lack of talent. We need to find people to go and produce, but we're not out here hurting for recruiting. We're not out here playing 5'9". We're not out here. What was the walk-on dude, number 34, Ryan Ragoni? We're not playing no goddamn Ryan Ragoni dudes who need not to be on scholarship. We're not playing these little itty-bitty Jimmy Murphy type dudes at linebacker. We have talented guys. They just need to produce. That is what I'm talking about.
I love when you get emotional. Makes me happy.
I know you do, and I know that the people do as well. So hop in the comments. let us know who's right. I know who is. My name is Cam, C-A-M. Go ahead and spell it correctly. But, rewind, go back over, and then let us know.
Are there people not spelling Cam correctly? Like, is someone hitting you with like a K-A-H-M or something?
Brother.
Come on.
I had a
Come on, man.
For every time I've said my name and gotten something completely different. I mean, completely different. Not even starting with a K or a C. I mean, so I've heard enough, man. I've heard enough. All right, we're gonna take a break. On the other side, we're gonna do a quick segment because we've gone way over. We're gonna do a quick segment. I want to get quickly to. Yes, it is my fault. We're going to get quickly to veterans that we think are going to take it to the next level, one on each side of the ball. We'll do that and more. On the other side, you're listening and watching the Real Ones Canes podcast. Welcome back to the Real Ones Canes podcast. I'm Brian the Beast London. Follow me at Miami Radio Beast. He's Cam Underwood. He's managing editor of State of the U. Follow him on Underwood Sports. Cam, stateoftheu.com, a brand new look. I love it. People should head there right now and check out the great stuff. We got some special teams breakdown. We got a little breakdown of NC State. We got all sorts of stuff at the brand new looking stateoftheu.com. Yeah, man, coming over and check us out. We've heard your feedback, especially for mobile optimization and things like that. So we've redesigned all of SB Nation's website. So please check us all out, but especially State of the U because I run it, but yeah, so brand new look, optimized for mobile, new ways to interact with us, and the same great content, and even working to bring in some other voices to help us out as we move forward. So be on the lookout for that, but always free, always open. So please come fan with us at stateoftheu.com. We really, really enjoy hearing from you guys, being there for you guys, and conversing with you guys. So join our community and keep the conversation going.
Yeah, let's do that as well. Please support Cam and his staff. Get over there right now. All right, let's get into this. Veterans we think who are going to step up. We'll do a snake draft like we did last time. I will start on offense. And
wait, does that mean I have to go on offense or can I go first on defense?
So you're going to go second on offense, but first on defense.
Okay, cool.
So first on offense for me is a player I think is going to step up. Now, maybe this is a layup. So I'm not sure, maybe it's too easy. But I'm going with JoJo Trader. Dealt with injury, played sparingly last year as a freshman, but for all intents and purposes, he's a guy, as we discussed in the previous segment, that has all the talent in the world. And with the receiving group that we talked about and their various skill sets, we'll see where he fits into the mix and what the rotation is. But I really like him, and I think that he is going to prove to be the guy that we thought he was going to be when he got here to Coral Gables. So I'm going to go with JoJo Trader to step up on offense. What say you?
Elijah Lofton. He's the new starting tight end.
Right, that was the layup of all layups.
Yeah, he's basically Brevin Jordan 2.0. They're both from Las Vegas, both went to Bishop Gorman, both wear number 9, both are 6'3", in air quotations, closer to 6'1.5", 6'2", but incredibly athletic. He will be moved all over the place. He is a ready-made gadget player. I could see him having carries, blocking from fullback, blocking from H-back,
all of the above.
Attacking in the passing game at all 3 levels. Swiss Army knife kind of a player. He's not prototypically sized, but he's super naturally talented. So
if I were just on the outside looking in, if I were to go strictly a transfer portal guy, I would go with Marty Brown as a guy I think is going to have a really productive season because I don't think people give enough credit to the program he's coming from and the accolades he had there. So you're getting a really high level running back in that kid.
I mean, in case people don't know, he came from North Dakota State, where he worked his way to being the starting running back on the FCS National Champions and won the Jerry Rice Award as the best freshman in FCS football. So those would be the performance and accolade things that Brian was referring to. Before you move on, I would say CJ Daniels at wide receiver.
Okay.
I know people forgotten about him because his most productive year was 2 and 3 years ago at Liberty, and battled a heel injury at LSU when he was trying to use that as his real foray into high major football. But he's looking like himself by all the reports and everything. So if it was a transfer for guy, I mean, non-Carson Beck division, because duh. I mean, if you talk about layup, that's the layup of all layups.
Correct.
But then I would say, CJ Daniels.
All right, so let's head to the defense. You get the first pick.
Defense, first pick. A veteran, a returning guy stepping up into a bigger role and making a large impact. I'm taking a large human up front, big dude's close to the ball, changes number to number 5, Justin Scott. And also, I want to shout out somebody else who is very talented along that defensive line. Is now that I'm replaying in my head our previous conversation that we did not mention, Armando Blunt. I just want to put the name out there.
Of course.
He's not my pick. My pick is Justin Scott.
No, yeah, and that was going to be my pick, so I'm quickly looking for another one. But, just for a second, Armando Blunt, he's a guy who I think physically has gotten to where he needs to be from all reports. So, he is a guy that I think could really take it to the next level, to be honest with you. I 1000% agree with you on that. So as I'm looking down,
just like everybody else, 1000% agreed with me from the previous segment where I was right then also. See, synergy across both halves of the podcast. You see how we do that. Hey, look, you threw the alley. I freaked the oop. 2 points counted in a foul. Underwood going to the line.
I'm trying to think of a guy I can't say OJ Frederick. How you taking it to another level after being a freshman All-American, right? That's.
I mean, I think that there's clear levels that you can take it to. Especially.
I mean, right. But that's not playing that's not really playing the game, is it?
Okay. It's not. I'm just saying, there's development that can be had. But I hear you. It's not in the real spirit. It's the letter of the law, not the spirit of the law, kind of a thing. I get it.
Right. Yeah. So. I think it's going to be another defensive back. Whether I think, it could be Damari Brown, to be honest with you.
Okay.
He's a guy on a heritage, that is really talented, coming into his third year. I think, I'll go with Damari Brown. I could make a case for about 3 other guys in the defensive backfield, but Damari Brown just comes to mind. I like him. I like him a lot as a player. That's kind of not a statistically based proclamation, but I just like him as a player.
There's nothing wrong with that, with liking the players and everything. And he's somebody that I'm definitely rooting for. His father, Selwyn Brown, went to the U and won national championship. And I worked with him for 11 years when I worked at Miramar High School. So I remember both of the Brown boys when he would bring them over to the schoolhouse and was coaching their Optimist team, and they were blowing teams out, even at the 7U group, because he had both boys playing together and everything. So I always love to see it. So I have a tangential personal connection to him. So I agree with that. I'll take that.
All right. So what do you got on defense?
Other than Justin Scott, my honorable.
Sorry. Transfer guy. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I apologize.
I'm going to cheat, and I'm letting you know that I'm going to cheat.
Okay, fine.
I'm taking both starting safeties, Zachariah Poyser and Jacoby Thomas, as a pair. Okay. So the starting safety pairing, because they're going to start. I take both of them. I think individually they're going to be great, and then as a unit, collectively, So I'm cheating. Sorry that I let you know that I cheated. Sorry that I did cheat. Actually, no, I'm not even sorry that I cheated.
Don't be sorry.
Give me both.
Yeah, I'll go with Mo. Torrey.
Okay.
Coming in from Rutgers, or a guy that Corey Heatherman coached at Rutgers. I'll go with him because I'm guessing he knows exactly what his coach is looking for.
I would hope so. He played for him for a full year already.
He's at this point, he's an elder, beyond elders. He's a grad student. So I'll go with Mo. So I think that's the guy on a transfer that I'm looking forward to stepping up. All right. Before we get out of here, Cam, I just want to thank the audience, because this has been the 100th episode of the Real Ones Canes. Now, of the numbered episodes, right? Like we've done plenty of like post-game shows and other things that didn't count in the sequential numbering of the episodes, but of the numbered episodes, this is number 100. So I want to thank the audience that has supported everyone involved in this podcast, either listening or watching on the various YouTube channels. Obviously, I want to thank Brandon O'Doy, who helped me start this thing. And by the way, people ask me all the time, where's Brandon? What's the deal with Brandon? Mm-hmm. Brandon has 78 jobs. He runs a school. He's a pastor. He runs football hotbed, and he does a lot of things. He helps guys find schools to get into. He takes guys on trips to go see schools.
All over the country.
Yeah, he's a mentor to guys. Like he is heavily involved in the community. So Brandon, because he has 78 jobs, just had to take a step back from this one thing, but he's always texting with us. He's always supporting us. He's always helping us if we need it. So props to Brandon and Cam. Thank you for jumping on to fill the void. Not easy footsteps to walk into, but you've done a great job. And to be honest with you, you're more fun to work with. Let's be honest.
I'm sure that he will listen to that, and I'll remind him of that every single week. The Stadium and Hard Rock this year, every single game that I'm more fun to work with. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Brian. Thank you to Brandon. And yeah, we're still friends with him and everything. I get, I see the same thing. Like, oh, where's he at? Where's he at? Hopefully I'm growing on the listenership, because I know that I've only been here for 15, 20 episodes, but maybe not even that many. But still, yeah, it's been a pleasure just to be able to hop on the microphone with the both of you guys when I was just guesting, and weekly with you as my good friend and everything. So yeah, looking forward to that, and congratulations to everybody. I mean, I take minor congrats, but mainly to you and Brandon for getting us to 100, and looking forward to the future, man.
All right. On that note, I'll let you get back to playing Mafiosa Boss.
Yes.
He was so happy when I sent him the link. He jumped on. He was like a kid in a candy store. He was like, I just took out the opponents. They didn't even know who they were dealing with. They forgot about me.
They did. It's a gangster game, basically set in the 1920s through Prohibition, and it's been a while since I had to handle some business in the real tough kind of a way. I've been trying to be more diplomatic, but this other entity from the other side of town, this other outfit, they want to try to come over and mess with me, and so we had to handle some business. I got one more dude that I gotta have go sleep with some fish to get them fully eliminated, but yeah. So, anyways, I was right in the middle of that burgeoning gang war, so I was a couple minutes late to start recording and everything. But it's been a pleasure, and I hope that you guys do all enjoy all of that. And I will leave it up here. Here's my alley-oop. Sorry, this way to Brian. Close us up.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We will see you next time right here on the Real Ones Canes podcast. Peace.